fucking hear it. Sammy, stop fucking holding back. Whatever that is, so move through it. In. Out.
Breathwork, I was so skeptic of that. I was so skeptic of you. It doesn't make any sense.
Every journey has a threshold. My name is Lachlan Mitchell, and this retreat in Croatia brought together a rare mix of men. 20-year-olds earning 100 grand a month, sitting beside founders who've exited 9-figure companies, all chasing growth, success, brotherhood, and a new edge. But there comes a point where that next level isn't about doing more, it's about becoming more. That's the journey I guide men through. So when I led them into this breathwork and shadow work experience, it wasn't about fixing anything. It was an initiation, a doorway into deeper clarity, presence, and truth. And once a man steps through that, he doesn't return the same.
So I'm out here in Croatia at the moment. We're on a 7-day mastermind retreat. And what we're about to go and do is a big 2-hour Holontropic Breathwork experience. So as you can see in this villa right now, it's a beautiful space. One of the big things with a lot of business owners, entrepreneurs, is they're very in their head, very mental, very analytical. And what this breathwork experience is going to be is going to crack them open. So any of that shit that they've been carrying, any of the fears, any of the insecurities, this is going to be a chance for them to really let go. Really let it out. We're gonna see which guys can really let out some sound, let out some rage, some anger, some sadness maybe, and which guys just need a big reset. How you feeling, Max?
I'm excited.
Yeah?
I haven't done, the longest I've done breathwork is 10 minutes. I was like, I don't know, I felt kind of like, I've never done drugs, but it felt like what I thought would be high. So what's the goal with that? Is it clarity? Is it like?
It's basically letting go of any of the tension that's built up over time. So like, you know, we all go through shit, we all face uncertainty, and you know, building businesses can be a little bit anxious at times. So whatever's been building up, to be able to move through it and recognize what the next step is in terms of business, relationships, life.
So will it increase my productivity?
And it will increase your productivity.
Cool. Cool, I'm there.
All right, guys, grab a seat. All right, how are we all feeling? Just like a 0 to 10, 10 being pretty nervous, 1 feeling completely calm. Shout out a number. How are you feeling?
4.
7, 4. It's perfectly normal to feel a bit nervous because this is something you've never done before. In this moment, you're lacking control because it's a very new experience. You're always going to go through phases of uncertainty. You're always going to go through phases of not having control. So your ability in your nervous system to be okay handling that uncertainty will be a continued predictor of like success and how you regulate yourself consistently. So what we're going to do before we get into the actual breath work is just go through a few key pieces to really understand what this experience gets to be for you. You guys get to set the intention for this. And for some of you, it might be just chill and experience. For some of you, if there's been some shit you've been holding on to recently, this can be a chance to really let that go and really surrender into it, okay? All right, so everyone grab your phones out, grab pens out. We're gonna do 7 of these one-word questions. That's basically gonna reveal some of the filters you currently have in life. So the unconscious lenses that you're seeing the world through without fully realizing. So the way this works is I'm going to speak the question out loud and you're going to trust the very first thing that comes to your mind. The idea is it's bypassing the prefrontal cortex that's making all the logical decision making, and it's just the very first thing that comes up, okay? All right, you ready? The thing I'm most afraid to want is. The thing I'm lying to myself about is. The worst thing about me is. The person I'm resenting the most right now is. The thing I most crave from the feminine is. I'm afraid people will see me as. The thing I hate most about the feminine is. My deepest fear is.
Regret.
Ooh.
What'd you put? Average. Yeah, I put being normal.
Standard. for entrepreneurs.
I put alone.
Yeah. Yeah, so our deepest fear, right? This is the core thing that kind of, like out of all the fears, is generally tends to be the core thing that actually dictates our behavior. The thing that I must do that I've been avoiding is.
It's kind of cool that everyone's actually kind of saying their answers. Like, I've never experienced that before. This is like pretty personal. Yeah.
Shame hides in the dark. As soon as you can bring it out to the light, it starts to dissipate. So I'm going to give you a quick debrief on this breathwork experience. All right, we're going to be doing 3 rounds of 10 to 15 minutes of breathing. And each section, there are going to be specific songs that play. And I'll be then guiding you to say, okay, we're coming up to our big breath hold. And when we get to that point, you'll be breathing. I'm going to show everyone what that breath looks like. What's happening right now is everyone just getting quiet, getting in their own space, ready to go through the breathwork journey. Everybody's eyes on me just so we can see what this breath's actually going to look like. We're doing a belly and then a chest breath. So what that looks like is like a getting ready to take that first big breath in 3, 2, 1, and in. Belly, chest, out and out, keeping that pace. Feel that energy building. Whatever those frustrations are, whatever those pieces you've been not wanting to let go, feel into it. Surrender to it. Feel it, allow it, let it move through you. 4 minutes is all I'm asking. In and out. In, out. Back into that flow, back into that energy. Surrendering to it, dropping down deeper. That's it. All of the weight, all of that armor. All that armor that you've got on for everybody fucking else. All the times you're there for everybody fucking else. What's that sound of all that weight, that feeling of that's been staying inside there for that fucking long? You're fucking here to do big things, Rav. You're here to fucking show up in the world. And you can't do that if you're always saving everybody else. Slowly sit up and make a little bit of a circle out here, and if you're not ready to sit up, that's okay, you stay in your spot. Pretty wild, hey? Yeah. So normally after we do a big, session, ceremony like that, we come together and we just get a chance to do a bit of a share.
So the breath work we did the other day that you did with all of us, which by the way was fantastic. But the thing that was different this time, for me, I don't know that I've ever had better mental clarity in doing that breath work. It was almost like the clutter of my mind got extracted by doing the hyperventilation.
Going through the breath work, what was that experience like?
It was, my whole body was vibrating. Like, I've never experienced something like that. When I went through it, I just kind of processed a lot of stuff and I could think about things clearly. And after it, I really felt a lot lighter. I felt a lot lighter, and I felt like in a really good spirit too.
What was one of the most wildest parts of the breath work for you?
I cried.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't really want to admit that, but I didn't think I would. As me, I'm typically, at least to most people, I'd say pretty emotionless. I'm not gonna cry in front of someone.
Yeah.
But yeah, I never thought I would. I did, and felt great.
Yeah, felt great.
The feeling of it all, the stress coming off, right? All of that being pent up, right, over how many years.
Yeah, and it can just come out like that.
I was somewhat cynical, but I was still open to the experience. I was a little bit nervous just because I didn't know what would come up. There was a potential for there to be a lot there that did come up. And honestly, I think I was mildly concerned about my ability to just fully immerse myself into the experience and just be present, because I can get somewhat distracted and get caught in my head. You did a phenomenal job of just framing not only what the experience would look like and what our perspective on it should be, but also speaking to it in an individual sense, to where everyone felt comfortable in having their own experience, even though we were doing it as a group. And I think that was extremely helpful because it removed any sense of I'm supposed to be doing this way, I'm supposed to be feeling it in this way.
Yeah.
So I think everyone was really just able to be present with themselves and just think about and process their own experience.
Right, so Sam's been our amazing videographer on this trip here in Croatia, and he didn't actually participate in the breathwork. He was the one filming it all. Sam, what went through your head?
Well, firstly, I kind of took a step back a bit and I was like, okay, so I'm in a retreat with a bunch of, millionaires. I'm in the basement of this amazing house that we're in. They went under some sort of spell that you just got them under. Pretty crazy to me. At first, I was scared a bit. I was a bit like, what's going on? But then as it kind of developed, and obviously the song and the music choice, it was kind of like you were like healing people's inner child, almost type of thing.
So breathwork is really powerful to let out a lot. Like, it's when guys come and start working with me, it's one of the first things we really do, just to, if the capacity of their body's really filled up, that's the button I can press to really help them start letting a lot go. And so, like, even in that experience, a lot of guys started crying. A lot of guys let out some fucking rage and anger and frustration. Like, it was very much quite a primal experience, I've been on this path for a long time. Not as some perfect coach, but as a guy who's pushed himself into places that most people avoid. And that's why men and women end up sitting with me. They can feel that I'm not here to fucking just pretend. And what you saw in Croatia, that's the real work. Men slowing down long enough to actually look at their lives. And not to try and fix anything, but to get really honest about who they are and who they're becoming. And I've worked with guys barely out of their teens making stupid amounts of money, and men who have built and sold companies bigger than anything I ever grew up around. And when they actually drop in, the same thing happens every single time. The armor comes off, the noise fades, and the real version of them finally shows up. And if you're watching this and something in you feels that pull, that's your doorway. And most people ignore it or talk themselves out of it, and that's normal. Hell, half the guys who work with me didn't start the first time they felt it. But the ones who do, the ones who stop running from that pull and actually take that step, everything in their life shifts.